Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review. And this movie review is going to be for a continuation of my Michael Myers movie reviews, and this time it's going to be for the seventh installment of the series and a direct sequel to 1981's Halloween 2, completely ignoring the Thorn trilogy era. Halloween H20, 20 years later. So, before I start this review, I'm going to say this. Here's how it's going to go. The original idea for the seventh Halloween film began as the second half of the treatment written by Daniel Ferretz during pre-production of The Curse of Michael Myers, which would be later spun as a new treatment entitled Michael Myers, Lord of the Dead. It would have opened immediately after the events of the previous film and involved Tommy Doyle discovering the entire town of Hannibal is involved in a conspiracy to control Michael Myers. Ferentz compared the story to horror films Wicker Man, Hitcher, Rosemary's Baby, The Lottery, and a rejected screenplay for The Return of Michael Myers, the fourth installment. However, Ferentz decided not to continue with the series, since he stated he couldn't bear to watch any more of his scripts be turned to debacle, especially after Halloween. Their idea pitched for Ferentz's treatment was going to be Halloween 7, The Faces of Evil, and was going to be released direct to video. Yeah, like that worked with films like Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings, or the Critter sequels, or every frickin' damn Hellraiser sequel after Hellraiser 4. And it would have involved Michael Myers stalking all women's boarding school, but the plot would have revealed a copycat killer, causing many fans to compare such a twist to Silence of the Lambs. They once again would change the title to Blood Ties, and involve Laurie Strode in the storyline before scrapping the idea entirely. Eventually, a screenplay based on a story by Kevin Williamson would once again surface, and would be called Halloween 7, The Revenge of Laurie Strode. Williamson was going to write the script, and the story situated as a sequel to the previous 6 films, keeping the timelines continuity. When Williamson first outlined Halloween H20, he recreated the story in which Laurie Strode had faked her own death, took on a new identity in a specific way to retconning the character's death in Halloween 4. But in Williamson's original treatment, scenes with the Hillcrest student does a report on Michael Myers' killing spree, mentioning the death of Jamie, complete with flashbacks 4 to 6 mentioned in the text. But however, all that would be scrapped, and instead it would end up being a direct sequel to Halloween 2 from 1981. And that would go on to be called none other than Halloween H20, 20 years later, what we got. And of course, it brought Laurie Strode back. It mentioned that Dr. Loomis didn't die from the burning in this timeline, but he spent years still rambling about Michael Myers, and, well, he did die off screen, so he's not in this movie. I'm glad that this original series decided not to recast Dr. Loomis because no one else could play him perfectly than the late Donald Pleasence. So I'm kind of glad they just didn't recast Dr. Loomis out of respect for Donald Pleasence, so that was nice. But what is this movie about? Well, this film is set 20 years after the events of Halloween 2, or the first 2 films combined. Like Michael Myers' massacre in Haddonfield, Laurie Strode faked her own death, traveled to California, and took on the identity Carrie Tate. Michael discovers Laurie's new identity and travels to California to finish what he was supposed to do, and that's kill his sister. Laurie must now take on her brother with her son's life at risk. AKA her son, who's John Tate, or John Strode, played by Josh Hartnett. So yeah, I just finished watching the film yesterday, and I gotta say, I consider it the 4th best in the series. This was definitely a great way to restart after the sluggishly bad Thorn trilogy era. Where, like, okay, Halloween 4 was okay, it was just like worth one watch, that was it. Halloween 5 was boring as hell. Like, I was on my phone the entire movie, it was that boring. Halloween 5 was. And then Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, the theatrical cut anyways, it was even worse. That was one of those horror trilogies that just gets worse each movie. Only good movie in that series was this, I guess, just the fourth one, and that's it. But anyway, I'm glad that this movie. What I love about this movie that ignores events of the films 3 through 6. Well, technically 3 was long ignored anyway because Halloween 3 is not a Michael Myers movie. It shouldn't even be called Halloween 3. It should have just been called Season of the Witch, and that's it. So yeah, it doesn't count anyway, regardless. Like, if you could just skip Season of the Witch and go straight to Revenge of Michael Myers, you don't miss a thing. So it was never canon to begin with. But it still does ignore 4 to 6. And there's like attempts at humor, but not to the point where it feels forced like most horror movies today. There's still some kind of scary scenes here and there. I like that Michael's still pretty intimidating, which I love they still did, and which was actually very nice. And what else am I missing? There's still some pretty cool, like, they don't rely on as much as the kills in this movie, which was kind of lame. There wasn't really as much kills in this movie. This one, like, kind of goes more for suspense. Another criticism of that, it feels a little bit too short. About, like, 86 minutes long, but thankfully not as long as its sequel, that I'm gonna get to in another review. Jamie Lee Curtis is back in the franchise. Love they brought back Laurie Strode in this film, and after a big absence from the other 4 movies, she returns after 17 years. Once again, gives a great performance from Laurie Strode. No one else could play Laurie Strode better than her, really. Now for the bad qualities. Yeah, there's like Michael Myers' mask sucks in this movie. It looks so weak. It doesn't even look like his actual mask at all. So his mask really sucks. Like, the plot is a little bit rehashed of the first 2 films. And it also even overuses fake outs several times. Fake out scares several times throughout the movie to the point it becomes easily predictable when a fake out scare starts popping up in our faces. Like, whenever Michael Myers pops out, like, you can already tell it's going to happen if you're familiar with the series at this rate. And of course, some of the characters can be very unlikable. Like, John Tate, Laurie Strode's son. I found Josh Hartnett's character very, very annoying and unlikable in this movie. Like today's the day I want to go camping, or like, he keeps, like, trying to fight. Like, Laurie Strode is trying to protect him. Like, come on, like, Laurie Strode almost got murdered by an unstoppable psychopath on a horrific night. Halloween night that's left her PTSD. And that John, her son, is just trying to ignore her safety warnings and just go on some bloody camping trip. But then she does give him a permission slip, but eventually she comes to an understanding, and then when she does give him permission slips, he just crumples it and decides not to go and just like have this fake like Halloween party with his girlfriend. And then of course, like, the security guard is like kind of an idiot in this film. Like, he doesn't even bother. Like, 2 of the students, like John Tate and one of his friends, do sneak out of the school. He doesn't even bother. He didn't even watch the whole thing. But yeah, I can look past those bad qualities in every aspect. But there's another thing I did also like. It had an awesome ending. Like, here's how it does. Once Michael does reach the school, gets there, and then Laurie stabs Michael numerous times and pushes him on her balcony, but a cop stops her. Then the authorities arrive, and then Michael's body is loaded into a coroner's van. But Laurie already senses that Michael's not really dead. He'll just keep coming back no matter what happens. So she secretly steals the van, killed to go and finish him off for good. And like predicted, Michael awakens and attacks Laurie, but she stops the van and causes Michael to crash through the windshield. She then drives the van into Michael, and then proceeds to drive off the road down a steep hill. Laurie tumbles out, and Michael is now trapped between a van and a tree, unable to escape. So, then Laurie walks up to him with an axe. He does reach out to Laurie, and they almost do touch hands, but then she grabs that axe she's holding, cuts off his head, and that's the end of the movie. Michael Myers is dead. Wait, what? No. No, 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 no. Do not tell me they made another sequel. Fuck. Oh, I forgot about that shitty-ass movie. Happened. I forgot they made another one. For no reason. Oh, God. That'll be another review coming. Oh, no. But anyway, that's it for the review of Halloween H20, and fourth best in the series. If you're a fan of the first two, I'd probably buy this movie or watch this movie. It's fourth best in the series. Here's how I would rank it. I am going to give Halloween H20 a 7 out of 10. There we go. That wraps up the review. Finally wraps up the review for Halloween H20, 20 years later. And then we all know what's next. I'm not excited for that. I can see what Hellhound was warning a lot of us about before even watching this film. I mean, the film that comes next after this anyways. I'm gonna go die after reviewing that. But anyway, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching. If you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like and subscribe to Movie Lover 120.